So I wanted to talk about a few of the problems that people are experiencing with the Tactical Solutions TSG-22. It's a 22 upper for the Glock 17. I received mine probably about 3 to 4 months ago and experienced all the same issues that people are reporting on YouTube, and went through a number of fixes to get this to run reliably, and I want to share those with you right now. The first thing I'd like to share is some of the modifications I made to be able to get the barrel out of the frame without having to remove this firing pin module back here. It's a pain in the butt for me. Because of the other modifications I was making, trying to tweak this and get it operating, it just didn't make sense for me to be able to, or to have to take this piece out right here. So these modifications that I made to get the barrel out actually allowed me to take it out easily as I was tweaking it to get it to run reliably. So let's go ahead and take that apart and show you what I did. The first thing I did is, and it's kind of hard to see in this video, and I'll shoot a close-up later, is I put a notch in the slide rail on this side because there's a pin holding the ejector right here onto the barrel, and it prevents you from lifting the barrel up. So I created a notch, and let's see if I can show you that. And again, I'll shoot a close-up of that later, but there's a notch right there that allows me to lift the barrel up and then take it out. So you can kind of see that notch right there. The other modification that I had to make to allow the barrel to slide out was to modify this hole at the front. It's a very tight fit, and it actually didn't allow the barrel to tilt up far enough for me to clear the firing pin assembly. So I'm going to rotate this around, and you're going to notice at some point here where the color changes, and you can see that those are the grinding marks where I actually ground down the inside of that hole. You can see those. I'm going to go around here, and so basically the entire inside of this hole has been ground down. The outer face of the hole has not been ground down. I didn't need to, and that allows the barrel to make full contact with this hole and not create any excessive play. But the inside edge of the hole has been ground down so that the barrel can basically tilt up far enough to clear that to clear the firing pin assembly. So one of the problems that I hear people talking about, and I've experienced this myself, is the failure to fire or the light primer strikes. And what I've discovered is that sometimes the gun will, or the slide will fail to go back into full battery. So the barrel does not seat up directly against the face back here, and as a result, the primer, I'm sorry, the striker doesn't hit the bullet very well, and so you end up with a light primer strike. So it does hit it, but it's very light, and that's, again, I think that's because it's not going into full battery. And what I discovered is that, at least in my case, the reason it's doing this is that the cutout where the extractor goes was not cut deep enough. So in other words, the extractor has to ride up on this little notch right there, and as a result, I think the barrel's actually, after the gun fires, comes back and bounces a little bit, and when it bounces, because the extractor is resting against that notch, it's actually holding it from going into full battery. And so let me show you what I did to solve that. Alright, basically what I did is this area, and again, this is just where the extractor sits, I basically just took a set of diamond needle files and ground out this spot right here, and you can see kind of a shiny spot right there, and I just carefully and slowly ground that down until the barrel could sit in full battery without actually touching the extractor, or if it was touching the extractor, it was just barely touching the extractor. And so that way, even if the barrel is going to bounce against the face, it's going to settle back into full battery. So that was the first thing that I did. It's just ground down right there to allow the barrel to sit in full battery. One of the things I did when I was trying to solve the problems with the failure to fire is I went ahead and took my needle file and I basically just kind of lightly polished or rounded the hole where the round goes. And you can see I did some dry firing there, so you can actually see at the top edge some dents that were caused by the firing pin. But I just took a needle file and lightly ground around this edge to try to round the hole and make sure that the round was going to feed reliably.